Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And after a pretty decent weekend, cooler temperatures. Boy, it was brutally hot last week. Nice over the weekend. Pretty darn nice out there today, too. We did get fairly warm, but folks, keep in mind, it's a warm time of year around here. End of July, first part of August, as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley from our Omi Gardens Sky-Fi Tower camera. And I'll tell you, it was dry in July all over north central Washington. Look at some of these figures. Wenatchee, we picked up a trace of precipitation the entire month of July, where normally we would get a little bit over a quarter of an inch. Of Freda, you just picked up a trace. You should have over 4/10. And same goes for Moses Lake, a trace. And you as well should have a little over 4/10 of an inch of moisture. It just didn't happen. And as we take it to look at the rest of the week ahead, it doesn't look like it's going to happen either. We do have a slight chance for some thunderstorms. I think mainly some showers happening. Doesn't show it there on Thursday, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. Also some windy conditions in our forecast, and we will get hot the next couple of days before we cool down the end of the week. Much more coming up in your weather forecast a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. The Chickaman Fire on a remote mountainside north of Plain had burned 240 acres by this morning as smoke jumpers, ground crews, and helicopters worked to contain the fire. The Burma Road Fire burned 168 acres but no structures after starting Saturday afternoon about 5 miles north of Pateros. And Gebers Farms, based in Brewster and one of the largest agricultural operations in the United States, says one of its guest workers has now died while in isolation for COVID-19. But first we begin tonight. 2 homes and a vehicle were hit by gunfire in a drive-by shooting early yesterday morning in the Larson housing community outside Moses Lake. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said just before 1 a.m., several residents and a nearby deputy reported multiple gunshots in the 1200 block of Arlington Drive Northeast. One bullet went through the window of a home and the suspect's vehicle crashed into a parked car while fleeing the scene. Nobody was injured and the suspects have not yet been identified or arrested. The Chickenman Fire on a remote mountainside north of Plain had burned 240 acres by this morning as smoke jumpers, ground crews, and helicopters worked to contain the fire in steep, rugged terrain. Numerous Okanagan, Wenatchee National Forest roads and trails in the area are now closed as crews continue to build fire lines to contain the fire's spread. The fire started Friday afternoon and a Type 3 incident management team was assigned Saturday to assist area firefighting agencies. Meanwhile, the Burma Road Fire burned 168 acres but no structures after starting Saturday afternoon about 5 miles north of Pateros. The Washington Department of Natural Resources said the progress of the fire at Burma Road south of the town of Methow was halted by about 9 p.m. on Saturday. Several firefighting agencies responded with an all-out assault using ground crews, an air tanker, and helicopters. In other news, Gebers Farms, based in Brewster and one of the largest agricultural operations in the United States, says one of its guest workers has died while in isolation for COVID-19. Earl Edwards, a Jamaican field hand who worked at Gebers seasonally under the H-2A guest visa for more than a decade, died on Friday after collapsing in housing set aside for infected employees. He'd been housed there since testing positive for the virus July 21st. More than half of Gebers' 4,500 workers are H-2A recruits. Last month, the Department of Labor and Industries ordered the company to change its worker housing standards to help prevent the disease spread. Earl Edwards, who was 63, is the second Gebers worker known to have died of COVID-19. More than 120 Gebers employees have now tested positive, and many more are awaiting test results. Coming up next, we will tell you about the rate of which COVID-19 cases grew during the month of June. Wenatchee Valley Library patrons are still limited to online services, but other branches of the North Central Regional Library are getting ready to provide physical books once more. President Trump spent part of his weekend tweeting endorsements for Republican candidates, and along the way, he threw a rose to Congressman Dan Newhouse. And unauthorized drones have not been a problem for firefighters who have been responding to numerous wildfires in Washington state this year. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Welcome back. In other news, 2 months ago, we told you which employment sectors in the Wenatchee Valley showed the greatest number of COVID-19 cases. The numbers are in for June, and the agricultural sector remains the economic area with the most infections. Data from the Chelan-Douglas Health District shows 150 infections were discovered that month among agricultural workers. Convalescent care and health care had the second largest number, with 57 new cases among residential clients and caregivers. However, children too young to work accounted for 62 infections. Those figures don't take into account the explosive growth of diagnosed cases in Chelan and Douglas County in July. The total count has since tripled to more than 1,800 people. Wenatchee Valley Library patrons are still limited to online service, but other branches of the North Central Regional Library are getting ready to provide physical books once more. Curbside pickup of books on order is set to restart August 13th at libraries in Grant, Okanagan, and Ferry counties. On August 10th, book return boxes will be unlocked so library patrons can turn over materials they've borrowed. Those counties are all in Phase 2 or Phase 3 of the statewide COVID-19 recovery plan. Because Chelan and Douglas counties are still in a modified Phase 1, those services won't be available in Wenatchee and surrounding towns. President Trump spent part of his weekend tweeting endorsements for Republican candidates, and along the way, he threw a rose to Congressman Dan Newhouse. Newhouse, whose 4th district includes Okanagan, Grant, and most of Douglas County, won praise from the president for his work on public lands legislation. The two-term congressman is facing 5 challengers in the primary voting that ends tomorrow, including Democrat Douglas McKinley and 2 Republican opponents. Well, unauthorized drones have not been a problem for firefighters who have been responding to numerous wildfires in Washington state this year. In fact, the National Interagency Fire Center says the entire Pacific Northwest has been problem-free when it comes to drones this year. There have been 11 drone incursions nationwide, including 8 in which firefighting operations had to be shut down. On July 22nd, there was an unauthorized airplane in the area of the South Pine Fire near Tonasket that briefly interfered with firefighting efforts. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Introducing the most capable Sierra lineup ever.
Pybus Public Market's motto is where community meets. Whether it's people, enjoying an event, or they meet a colleague for coffee and whip out their laptop and are able to actually do work here, having quick and reliable Wi-Fi is one of the things that makes Pybus such a great community hub. It just contributes to the welcoming place that we want Pybus to be. I'm Allie, and fiber keeps people connected, and that's what Pybus Market is all about.
Don't worry, all the fun is around the corner. There's no better time to get ready than now with Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa Sale. Stock Up and Save sale is now going on in-store and online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Even pool heaters are on sale. Financing available upon approval. Credit 24-month, no interest with equal payments. Stop by today or order online at bluelagoonpoolandspa.com. Free water testing available in-store or curbside. Don't wait, the sale is going on now.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. One of the big reasons firefighters have been able to quickly gain control of north central Washington's wildfires this year is an emphasis on aerial resources. And a key component of that has been the use of nimble and versatile single-engine air tankers. In tonight's feature story, Allison Morrow of the Washington Department of Natural Resources explains how valuable these planes have been.
Hi, I'm Allison Morrow with your DNR report. Hot and dry conditions have led to a spike in the number of wildfires that crews are battling across the state. One of the most important tools they use are these airplanes, single-engine air tankers or seats.
Fire bosses are critical to our success in initial attack. When they come in and drop on the head of the fire, it buys time for ground resources to come in and do a ground attack and buys us time. It is also critical in checking up fire that is potentially a threat to buildings and structures and improvements.
The smaller planes can reload and operate in areas where larger air tankers cannot. A special feature of this plane is that it can land on water and fill up with as much as 800 gallons in a few seconds while skimming along the water.
This little nozzle right here will turn and pick up water. So when these doors open up right here, that's where the water or fire suppressant would exit. It really cuts down on our load and return time. They don't have to go back to bases like these to reload with retardant. They can just land on lakes and rivers and pick up that water and go directly to fires.
The plane also has special gear to help pilots navigate through very smoky skies.
We have thermal cameras on these right here that allows pilots to see the fire's edge as they're flying through smoke or conditions that would affect their visibility.
Seats have really helped DNR crews speed up their responses to wildfire.
When the firefighters on the ground see fire boss show up, we feel a lot safer and more confident in our ability to stop the forward progression of the fire and keep it smaller, which is also safer for our crews, reduces the damage to the environment, and also reduces cost.
For more information on how to prevent wildfires, visit dnr.wa.gov/wildfire prevention.
Time now for a check of your north central Washington weather forecast. And going back to that piece, boy, we don't have to reiterate enough how dry it is out there and how bone dry it is. We showed you at the top of the newscast, Wenatchee, a trace of precipitation all of July. So we definitely need the rain. Will it come? We'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's take a beautiful look outside our weather window as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley from our Omi Gardens Sky-Fi Tower camera. And just a few clouds out there today really didn't stop us from reaching about normal high temperatures for around the area. So it was a decent day and a beautiful shot once again of our beautiful Wenatchee Valley. High temperature unofficially at Pangbourne Airport today, 90 degrees. And that's just a tick above where we should should be at 89 for this time of year. We started off the day at 69. 63 is where we should be for an overnight low. 107, our scorching hot record high. That was set back in 1961. Record low 52, set back in 2002. So far, 2.66 inches of moisture. We have been stuck on that for months. And that's almost 2 inches now below where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise 5:42, and the sun will set tonight at 8:31. Let's take a look at how our Tuesday shapes up, and it's going to get warmer, folks, over the next couple of days, beginning tomorrow. Today about 90, tomorrow for most of the area. We're talking about 90 to 95. 95 for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. 94 in Wenatchee, 90 for Leavenworth, and a hot one in Chelan, too, if you're heading up that way. High temperature tomorrow at 95 degrees. Tonight we can expect mostly clear skies as we go to our surface loop now and take you through the next 7 days. Clear skies tonight, still a little bit breezy. It's not going to be bad though. We'll see a northwest wind about 10 miles an hour tonight with all those clear skies. A little bit of a storm system moving through the eastern part of Montana, and that's about it for western storms across the country. For Tuesday, sunny skies. We'll see lighter winds tomorrow, and it will warm up tomorrow and on Wednesday. Tomorrow we're talking, as we just showed you, highs mainly in the lower to mid 90s around north central Washington. And then on Wednesday, just downright hot with lots of sunshine. Back to that reddish color, and that means 95 to 100 degrees. And yeah, some of us might reach that 100 as we get into Wednesday. And then a big weather change as we get into Thursday. This is a storm system right here, and you can see our isobars packed tightly together. That's some rain shower activity. Also windy conditions. We'll see about a 20% chance for isolated showers and lots of wind, 10 to 20 miles an hour. High temperatures only in the mid 80s for Thursday. And then on Friday, we stabilize somewhat once again weather-wise. Sunny skies. We'll see warmer temperatures, still around normal or so for this time of year. We're talking upper 80s for Friday. As we get into Saturday, it will be a bit breezy once again, as you can see right in the central part of the state. Mild temperatures though, that orange color indicates about 90 degrees, and that's what we'll see pretty much for our weekend. Sunny skies. Then as we end our weekend on Saturday, you can see this negatively tilted high pressure ridge that will slowly slide over the western United States, and that will bring us slightly warmer temperatures as we get into Sunday. Let's take a look now at your Patriot Plumbing, Heating and Cooling 7-day forecast. 65 the overnight low tonight, 94 tomorrow, and there's that warming trend as we get into Wednesday. 97 on Wednesday, but look what happens on Thursday. Much different weather. Breezy, cooler. We could see an isolated shower or two with 84 our high, and then we'll slowly build back up temperature-wise by Friday. 85, 88 for Saturday, and to end our weekend on Sunday, expect high temperatures then right around 90. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstorm and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
From the ocean to the mountains to the forest in between, vacation time can be a fun time. But not if your car breaks down. Call Global Car Care today. Have a service approved over $150 on your vehicle, and Global Car Care will donate an oil change service to one of our local heroes at Confluence Health. Look for more incentives online. Global Car Care cares about their community.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
People spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCWLIFE.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Monday to you. New Washington State head football coach Nick Rolovich finds himself right in the middle of a controversy involving a player movement in the Pac-12 demanding rights and money from the conference. Rolovich's phone conversation with redshirt sophomore Cassidy Woods went public when Woods provided a recording of it to the Dallas Morning News. Woods informed Coach Rolovich that he was opting out this season for health concerns related to COVID because of a pre-existing condition. Rolovich told him that was fine and his scholarship would still be available, but warned if it would be a different matter if Woods was joining the movement of players against the Pac-12. In an anonymous letter to the Players Tribune, several Pac-12 football players pledged to boycott this season because NCAA sports, quote, exploits college athletes physically, economically, and academically, and also disproportionately harm black college athletes, end quote. The players are demanding guarantees of health and safety for now and years down the road, ending racial injustice in college sports and society, and distributing 50% of each sport's total conference revenue evenly among athletes in their respective sports, just to name a few. This is long from over. Well, the Mariners dropped 2 of 3 from the A's over the weekend at T-Mobile Park, including Sunday's 3-2 decision. Seattle led 1-0 in the 5th when reliever Anthony Misevich gave up a 3-run home run to Oakland's Ramon Laureano. Kyle Lewis tried to get the M's back in it by extending his hitting streak to 10 games with a solo home run at the bottom of the 8th, but it wasn't enough. Lewis says he's trying to keep his approach at the plate simple.
I think just a change in mindset. I think, trying to stay focused on getting the pitch to hit, being a little more patient at the plate, letting the count get deep, not being afraid to let the counts get deeper. Things like that is kind of getting me in a better rhythm at the plate, trying not to be so jumpy, trying to be not to be so antsy, to try to rush and get hits. I wasn't really aware of the hitting streaks as far as in the game. I'm not trying to really keep a streak alive, but I felt like, I wanted to see one, late in the game, didn't want to rush, try to do too much early in the count. Late in the game. And so wanted to try to get one over the middle of the plate, and he left a fastball over the middle of the plate. I was able to get the barrel to. Felt like I had been, over swinging throughout the day. So I just tried to keep it short, keep it simple.
Mariner manager Scott Service said his young club is still learning and that the A's have proven to have a quality bullpen.
We've been shut down offensively here the last couple nights, and certainly Oakland's got a veteran bullpen, and they've made big pitches at the end of the game when we've had some traffic out there. On the flip side, I thought Graveman really battled today. Didn't feel 100%. Kind of got a little bit a neck issue he was dealing with. So it's a game of inches. He gets a little slow roller by Simeon, and bang safe at first. So the tank was empty. So going to Miz there, and again, we've got young guys, putting them in situations, and they're learning. And he made a mistake. Kind of like last night's ball game, kind of came down to one pitch, but we're playing good baseball, and that's the key with this group is, we're going to stay upbeat, positive, and we're learning along the way. Need some big hits and runners in scoring position, which is what we were getting. We were winning a few of those ball games, but again, we're right there, very competitive. Just a pitch or a big knock away from getting back on top. So not a lot of offense today. Again, Kyle Lewis, with a bomb, but other than that, it was a struggle offensively.
The two teams wrap up the 4-game series tonight. Justice Sheffield facing Oakland's Franklin Montes. Well, if you're like me and away from the TV for the weekend, let's get you up to date on what else happened with the Mariners. They began on a positive note Friday. Seattle winning its 3rd straight game, downing Oakland 5-3. Taijuan Walker was incredible in the Mariners' home opener, allowing just 1 hit over 7 shutout innings, striking out 8. Kyle Lewis went 2 for 4 with a run and an RBI, while Kyle Seager delivered a 2-run double. J.P. Crawford also chipped in with a 2 for 4 night, scoring 2 runs. Then on Saturday, Saturday went extra innings as the Mariners ran into that new runner rule for the first time this season, falling 3-2. The rule puts a runner at second base to start off extra innings in Major League Baseball's attempt to speed up the game. In the 10th inning Saturday, Robbie Grossman's RBI double scored said runner from second base as Oakland won at 3-2. Yusei Kikuchi had his best day on the mound, going 6 innings, allowing no runs, 3 hits, and 9 strikeouts. Austin Nola went 2 for 4 at the plate with a run, while Kyle Lewis extended his hitting streak to 9 at that point, going 1 for 3. Now taking a look at the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard, Alex Bregman's RBI single in the top of the 11th gave Houston a 6-5 win over the Angels Sunday. Bregman also delivered a solo home run to help the Astros remain tied with Oakland atop the AL West standings. Joey Gallo's 3-run home run capped a 4-run 7th as Texas came from behind to beat San Francisco 9-5. Gallo went 3 for 4 on the day at the plate. The Rangers win for the 3rd time this season. Seattle and Los Angeles sit a game and a half back of Oakland and Houston in the American League West standings. Well, we're back with more racing this Saturday at Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. It's Les Schwab night at the races with 5 classes of racing to be had, including the Jerry's Auto Supply Pro Late Models, Mountain Dew Junior Late Models, Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning Thunder Cars, Plum Perfect Roadrunners, and Bandoleros. We'll begin our coverage live at 6 here Saturday night on NCWLIFE. Now, prior to that, we'll have hockey Thursday night as Wenatchee Wild take on the Salmon Arm Silverbacks from October of last year. Friday's baseball night as the Apple Sox entertain the Portland Pickles at 6:30. Then prior to racing Saturday, we'll feature a Big 9 soccer tilt between Eastmont and Wenatchee boys from the spring of 2018. That'll be at 2 o'clock Saturday. That's Sports News. I'm Eric Granstorm. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And finally tonight, sad news to report. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office announced earlier today that retired K-9 Axel passed away last night in the arms of his family. K-9 Axel served Chelan County alongside his handler, Deputy Lamont, until late 2017. In the statement, the Sheriff's Office said, quote, "Thank you, K-9 Axel, for serving and protecting your fellow deputies in the lightest of day and the darkest of night. Rest easy, pup," unquote. Around mid-morning, Axel was taken by a procession to Columbia Pet Services in Wenatchee. Now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thank you very much, Grant. Once a month, our friends from Confluence Health drops by and pays us a visit. It's always good to check in with our friends at Confluence Health. We'll do that on Tuesday. Get all the latest information that you need, and we'll do a little COVID-19 talk as well. Plus, we'll have your forecast. Going to be still, as Grant said, a little on the warm side till we get to Thursday. Can't wait to get to Thursday for that big Nature's air conditioner that's going to kick in. I'm all for that. Plus, we'll have sports and everything else you need to start your Tuesday, Election Day, the right way. Live and local with Wake Up Wenatchee Valley right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Grant, back to you.
Thank you, Dan. We'll be watching. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great night.
At Town Toyota, we believe in our community, and we're proud to support this broadcast of local sports. Town Toyota defines reliability and value in both its products and in the dealership itself. We are home to legendary products like the RAV4, Highlander, and Camry, not to mention Tundras and Tacoma trucks. Of course, we offer service for everything we sell, and a great selection of pre-owned and certified vehicles as well. So enjoy the game and visit Town Toyota for all your automotive needs.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?